Hi, everybody. Welcome to Voice of the Alexander Technique. I'm Allison Taylor, and today I'm trying Facebook Live for the first time. So forgive any glitches. As usual, Millie, my cat, is here to interrupt and create lots of sounds in the background so we can all enjoy that. So I usually share a video every Tuesday. And today I wanted to share with you an exciting experience I had with a student last night. As some of you may know, I've just joined the Total Vocal Freedom community, and I'm super excited to be a part of that group. And in our class yesterday, I was really inspired by what people were sharing about how they were teaching in different ways and trying new ways to warm up their students. And so I wanted to share this experience that I had with my student yesterday that came out of this fun, experimental, exploratory class that we had with Total Vocal Freedom yesterday. If you don't know, Total Vocal Freedom is this really cool online community which combines voice teaching and singing with the Alexander Technique. So it's right up my alley. Okay, so normally I sit at the piano when my student comes in, and we do kind of typical vocal warm-ups right away. Often, if it's a new student, I'll spend quite a lot of time talking about finding your balance, kind of moving around. I'm not at the piano, so I'm moving around with them. We're moving around the studio space. But with this student, we were sort of into a routine of coming in, hi, how are ya? Checking in with the body, checking in with a little bit of alignment-y stuff, body freedom stuff, and then right into singing. So normally she would come in and we do, I would set her up by demonstrating, okay, we're gonna just start with some lip trills. And then she would continue. We go up and up and up. And then usually after that, we'll go into something with a vowel. Like, okay, we're gonna start with an ooh, just on a simple slide. Ooh. And then she would continue. So yeah, this has me at the piano and my student kind of singing towards me, and you're probably pretty accustomed to that setup. So yesterday we sort of started that way, and I said, you know what, are you open to trying an experiment? So maybe doing a different warm-up than we normally do. And she said, okay, sure. And she did say, I'm feeling a little self-conscious and I'm feeling kind of like tense today in my body. And I said, okay, well, you know what, maybe this experiment will be a great way to change that up, see if something shifts. So I asked her to just start exploring, and I was doing it with her at the piano. So I stayed on the piano bench and I said, you know, I'm inviting you to engage this whole space, the whole studio space, and just, you don't have to be looking at me or facing me. Just explore some kind of what my teacher, Babette Leitner, calls luxuriating. So some kind of like, luxuriating kind of movements. You might find like a squishy movement feels really great, or a fully expansive movement feels really great. And so my student, was moving around the studio, kind of doing these movements. And I asked her just to notice for herself her bodily sensations and notice her breath and her thoughts, just in sort of a background way, just to notice that in the background, but stay with that intention of luxuriating. And after a few moments, I said, now, what would happen if we both added our own personal soundtrack? And so I said, let's add a closed mouth sound. So that could be, I didn't give her these options, but it could be an M or an N or an NG. And so she was kind of mirroring my movements, but also doing her own thing. And then I said, okay, we're going to change the soundtrack up. We're going to add some buzzy sounds. So in my mind, a buzzy sound is a v or a z. And so she was, I was demonstrating and she was copying me, but she was also making up her own. Something like that. So she's moving around the space as we're doing this. And then I said, okay, let's add a vowel sound, so an open mouth sound. And I was really delighted to find that she was brave enough to change it up. So she was kind of like throwing things and adding her sound to sort of mimic what that gesture would be. Oh, and I should add, this is an adult student. So we're doing this kind of playful exploration, and she is an adult student. So I do this with younger students as well. But sometimes it takes a little extra coaxing to get our adult students to play in this way. So she was being an amazing, amazing sport. So we kept doing that for some time, and I was sort of following her now more than her following me. I just sort of gently let the leadership shift to her. So she took over that leadership without knowing it really, and I was following her. So after that, we had a little talk, and I said, okay, so just notice, did you note anything that was happening in your breath or in your feeling of producing sound, or anything that was happening in your thoughts? What was going on? And she said, well, to be honest, I felt a little self-conscious at the beginning, but then, and I saw this happen too, I just started laughing and kind of had fun with it. And yeah, she said, my shoulders feel a lot more relaxed and I feel more open. And so I said, okay, great. And I'm very conscious often when I'm teaching not to give, not editorialize, but put my value on the sound that the student's making. So not to say beautiful or what a beautiful voice, because that puts my value on the sound that a student's making. It can kind of get in the way of their creativity or their exploration. So even when I was hearing her feedback on her experience, not to put like oh, okay, great, you got it, because I don't want this to become a formula. Oh, if I do this and have crazy movements, that's how I make a good sound. So really to put the emphasis on her experience, the student's experience, and to say, okay, so did you notice the outcome, as my student noticed, like, oh, my voice seems so much more resonant. It seemed like there was more space, it felt easy, and we were vocalizing up to like F sharp, G sharp. We got up to an A after that using those same movements. And prior to that, she'd been experiencing some discomfort and difficulty and like over-efforting into those pitches. So she came in with a goal of wanting to sing on pitch, and she'd been noticing there was like a little bit of riding high on the pitches. And we talked about how intonation can have so much to do with what's happening in the whole system, the whole organism. So if there's a pattern of tension somewhere, that can make the pitch sound a little sharp. But we realized that just trying to attack that problem head on was not having the result. And so it was really cool for her to notice that this outcome of a more balanced, resonant sound and was actually a result of this whole indirect process that we explored together, which started with this free and easy movement and creating this playful soundtrack to those movements, so that the technical like skill acquisition that we were working on, which was finding some more resonance and balance in the voice and finding some ease, as well as breath movement, those were our skills that we were working towards. We found that those things came about as a result of this indirect process of these movements, rather than going for those technical skills directly. And while that's always on the background of my mind while I'm teaching, because of how I'm learning to sing and learning to change my pedagogical style, I still get stuck in going directly for it and giving kind of direct feedback, and now try this, now manipulate this. I still kind of get stuck in those ideas of what it is to be a voice teacher. So I was really grateful to my student for being open to trying this new approach, and really excited and grateful to my colleagues and instructors at the Total Vocal Freedom Vocal Academy, for supporting that exploration and sharing their discoveries with me. So that is all I wanted to tell you today about that experience. Thank you for sticking with me with this first Facebook Live attempt. I hope you found something in this to be useful or inspiring or interesting, or kind of if you're curious about something, I'd love to hear in the comments. And I wish you a happy and joyful teaching day and week, and I look forward to hearing from you. You can look for another video from me next Tuesday as per usual. And you can follow along either on my Voice and Alexander Technique Facebook page, my Instagram, Voice Alexander Tech, or my YouTube channel, Voicing Alexander Technique. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.